Hey chatters, in this video, we are going to go over a community plugin called Dataview JS, but not in the way you might expect. There's a lot of videos out there going over Dataview. Generally, what it does is it helps you take things like your wiki links or your tags or whatever and create data tables, as well as a bunch of other stuff related to data organization and querying. A less known aspect, though, of Dataview is something called Dataview JS, which stands for JavaScript, which is super powerful. If you know how to code and or know how to use large language models to code, you can build some pretty ridiculous things right inside of Obsidian, just in a code block like I have right here. I'm going to show you what this does in a minute, but before that, let's just make sure we go and download Dataview JS and have the settings correctly, and then we'll go through the sorts of things you can build. As always, with a community plugin, we want to go to settings, community plugins, browse, and you'll see here it's the number 2 most downloaded one. This will be a little different. It'll be download and turn on, but then we'll go to options. You want to make sure you have this toggled on, enable JavaScript queries, as well as enable inline JavaScript queries. And that's it. We're all set up. Let's get into the code and the ridiculous things you can do. I don't know about you, but I find many times when I'm in my vault and I'm writing things and I'm doing things, I want to use a large language model to just revise a piece of the text. But whenever I'm context switching, I'm going to different applications, I have to get out of Obsidian or switch to something else. It can be a little bit annoying and distracting, many opportunities to get off task. So what I really wanted to build was something that would allow me to just highlight the text that is already inside of a note that I'm working on, click a button, give a short little description about how I want it edited, and then have it come back to me, revised the way I want it to be revised, and then just have a button that will replace it if I like it, or another button to revise again if I didn't really like what it came up with. I worked with a large language model to come up with some JavaScript code that would do just that. And you can see here, I have here, this is for the Open Router API key. I'll share, I have one or a version of this for most of the major providers. But more or less all you got to do is you put your API key here. And then if you want, you're more than welcome to change any of this. But if you're uncomfortable with all the code, the only thing you might want to come in and change is if you come down to here, you'll see that I have the model that's set up. This is specific to Open Router. You can choose pretty much any model. So I have Cloud 3.5 set. And then you might want to change the system prompt. So right now I have a very simple system prompt. You might want to give more guidance on your style or what you prefer or pretty much anything you want. You just change anything that's inside of these quotation marks for your prompt. And then if you want to add to the user prompt, you can, but not a big deal. And that's pretty much it. So let's head over to a note and actually see how you set this up and how it works. Here we are in a note. This is part of a series that I've been working on called Archetypical. So how we want to do this is you can put it anywhere, but I'm just going to put it at the top. We're just going to copy and paste that full code block, which I'll have for you in a GitHub so you can take and make your own. And then we want to add our API key up here. So I'm not going to show that so you don't have my API key. But once you have that, I'm just going to go to up here because right now I have it in source mode so you can actually see the code. I'm going to turn this off and you're going to see that disappears. One thing I want to mention is that you need to make sure that right next to these 3 backticks, which make your code block, that you have Dataview JS. This is how it enables the JavaScript that we're talking about. So we're out of source mode. You can see here I have all my text. And now we have this revise selected text button that showed up. This is part of the code. Again, you can run the code through an LLM and be like, hey, can you move that revise selected button? Or if there's another way you want to do it, just stick this code in there, give it some context and tell it you want to do and mess around. But the idea here is I want to be able to highlight text, hit this revise selected text button, and then go through the rest of the steps. So let's try it out. So at this point, I've input my API key, and now we just got to revise the text. I'm just going to highlight a part of this and do revise selected text. I'm going to say, make this more dramatic. Here, you put whatever you want. We'll give it a second to generate. And you'll see here where we put the code block is where it generated the text. So it's now gotten a little bit more dramatic. And if we want to, we can say replace selected text. It'll tell us it did it. And we can come down here and you can see here it changed what the text says. I don't want to set up unrealistic expectations for this. I threw this particular thing together in an hour. It is definitely buggy. It's having some issues. And I'd be more than happy to collaborate on folks for this particular use case, which is why I'm making it open source. You'll be able to just stick this in your vault and mess around with it. But what I want to open your eyes up to is Dataview JS in terms of you can write up any sort of JavaScript code, including essentially like a mini app if you want, and have it right here just in a code block in your vault. And it'll do the things you want it to do, including using large language models directly in a note or whatever. The possibilities are almost endless in terms of the things you can build for yourself. So definitely, if you're interested in helping to improve this particular use case, reach out. I'll have the GitHub in the description. And otherwise, I'd love to hear about all the cool things you try to build using Dataview. Thanks, chatters, and have fun.